same culture, killing each other, stealing each other's cattle, burning their villages. As I said, we are going to treat them in the language they will understand. We have given the police and the military power to be ruthless.
Sometimes we get that, and that's what's happening to people in the streets. That's where they're moving. That's why they're demonstrating. That's why they're defying even threats from the police, from the government. If you demonstrate, you're a threat to us. If you do this, we'll deal with you. We'll talk to you in language which you understand. It doesn't wash with anybody any longer. Because if the nation is on a suicide slide, the people who feel that they do not deserve that kind of suicidal plunge, they have a right to say, sorry.
Hi, welcome everyone to Your Exit once again. Here we meet every Saturday to dissect the issues, concerning the peaceful exit of tribal groups from the entity called Nigeria. We are coming to you from the Dallas studios of Distinct Media. My name is Noah Omoluabi, and I'm joined on this broadcast by very eminent people who I will introduce later on, as usual. We will, review the various challenges facing our people. And the issue, one of the issues facing us is the people versus Miyetti Allah. I hope you know that, we the people. And we're going to be talking about that in a lot of issues, in a lot of ways. But Nnamdi Kanu may be, incarcerated somehow right now, but it seems to have been very effective as one of the major things that happened this week, in the news. It seems to be very effective on the streets. And we also saw drama from Ile-Ogbo in near Iwo in Osun State. It's Osun State. Sorry about that typo. It's in Osun State, where the people rejected the traditional gifts of Okada and told the people, told the legislators, go and make us roads for those Okadas to walk. Also this week, we were expecting the release of these 12 people, who are being held because they have association with Chief Sunday Igbohos. We are still expecting their release. And if you've been following the stories, it's been kind of funny all along the way. Well, as you see, the issue is, are we having the 2023 elections at all? Is it going to happen? And it's not just from us, it's from the government, it's from everybody that is worried about what's going on. Is the election going to hold? How is it going to happen? Things like that. So, the story is on, and we are waiting to see what will happen as Nigeria moves on. The issue is, are we going to continue the Miyetti Allah agenda? And the race also there is, are we going to, turn Nigeria to an illegal entity? One thing the groups are certainly talking about is there is not going to be any war, whatever. We're going to go the civil way. We're going to peacefully exit this system, whichever way it goes. You've been hearing a lot of languages, and it's been like a tussle between Miyetti Allah and the people. When people say self-determination, Miyetti Allah says secession. When the people say break it up, Miyetti Allah says, they're trying to get out. Essentially, what people are asking for is freedom from slavery. Freedom from slavery. And that's where we are taking the discussion to right after this timeout. Just after the commercial, we're going to look into the details of, what the different groups in Nigeria are talking about. What are the minority groups thinking about the situation? What are the gatekeepers of democracy, like we've been talking about, the social groups? What are they talking about? And more importantly, is there a jihad really happening in Nigeria? Right after this break, we're going to look into that issue more.
Nigeria has become a union of death for the rest of us. The global powers have told Nigeria in very clear terms that guns should be kept out of the table of discussion, and a dialogue opened up with the owners of the sovereignty, with the people. Time is now to go discuss with the owners of the sovereignty that is now called Nigeria, and to work out constitutions that will work.
Um, yeah, happy, to introduce to you once again my colleague, you know his face very well, Reverend Simon Olatunji is here with us in the studios. We're going to be, going on this program once again together. And also we have Kyle Apps, the director of ICON. ICON is the International Committee on Nigeria. International Committee on Nigeria. They are a wonderful missionary group who's been working for decades in Nigeria. So they're going to help us shed light into a lot of things, happening in real life, on the ground, and some of their campaign they've been working on in Nigeria. And I'm going to, shoot straight, by asking him to give us, some of the observations, some of what he thinks is going on and why, the situation in Nigeria is so tense at this point in time. Let's start it from there. Kyle.
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me, gentlemen. Appreciate your discussion and what's been happening specifically in Nigeria. I think you've been covering it well. You've been looking at the different facets. And of course, you mentioned the word jihad, and you can also throw out the word genocide as well. Those are two important things we have to inform people in the world. This is what's going on in Nigeria.
Go on.
Okay, I didn't know what you want me to say. So the point is that ICON has been working in Nigeria for the past 5 years as an advocacy group, meaning we represent the issues of Nigeria for those who have been persecuted, those who have been suffering under religious freedom issues. So that's Christians. Sometimes we talk to Shia groups. Of course, there are Fulani Christians as well who are being persecuted. But at the same time, we've known the problems to be and noticed them to be, as you rightly pointed out, that these Fulani militants have gone unabated for too long, and there needs to be measures taken to stop them from the grassroots all the way to the top. And we know to the top it goes all the way up to President Buhari. So we're trying to expose these things that are happening, in the judicial system, in the international world, as well as the legislative world in Washington, D.C., raising awareness, trying to get Senate and different people to bring up the cause, to say, look, we're putting $1 billion a year into Nigeria. Where's the accountability? What's happening?
Yeah. Thank you. Talking about, raising awareness and by people that matter in the legislative halls of the world, not just in Nigeria. I understand you have a program going on, in Dallas, moving around generally all over the world about, sensitizing the public about the tensions and the, effects on Nigerian business people. Can you enlighten more a little bit about that?
Yeah, so next week, Thursday, August 19th, 6 p.m. at the Mercury One Studios, we're doing an event to try to bring awareness. So we're hopefully having Reverend Johnny Moore, who wrote a book, The Next Jihad, Nigeria. We're also having a special guest from Lara Logan, who's a Fox News, CBS investigative journalist. We're also having different people from Diaspora speak up. We also have different people from Nigeria bringing the attention to the atrocities they're having. So that talking about the human rights, the religious freedom that doesn't exist in Nigeria. And we've been appreciative of your efforts, both you guys that's been helping to promote it and to bring awareness to it as we get the people to come and see. It's going to be a good event to raise awareness, but also it's going to be a start of more things to come, because once people hear what people are saying, what people are doing, they'll want to be involved and take up action as well.
Yeah. Thank you once again. Well, also, let me ask you this. Now, Africans are getting very wary. They are not very happy with foreigners getting involved in their affairs and in what's going on in their country. Do you think Nigerians can do it alone with what you have seen on ground?
Yeah, that's the big question, right? What is too much by one group and not enough by another group? So, the West is seen as the colonial masters, as it were. The UK has done little, if anything, to help Nigeria. In fact, they've perpetuated these lies and this deception and this false narrative. It's just a farmer-herder conflict that Buhari's just, struggling to do his best. Well, that's nonsense. The West has a duty to be accountable, to raise awareness themselves, to bring up attention to this, and to come alongside those the Nigerians are living in the diaspora, those in the U.S., those in the UK, those in Europe, because it's not being done on the inside. You know all too well what happens when you voice your opinion. You get arrested, you get killed. So we're trying to bring attention to these things so that we can come and be a voice for those who seem not to have a voice.
Yeah, well, thank you. Let me just bring in Dr. Latunji here. Into the discussion. I was just going to ask, is government criminality, involved in the kind of unrest that we have in Nigeria at this point in time?
Government criminality, that term is a big one, but certainly I will say, without being discreet about it, I will say definitely yes. Because why are people restive at this time? Because they can no longer trust in the government. The government has weaponized the office to oppress the people, because I can't believe really that we are practicing democracy, because obviously we have a call from Nigeria right now. Hello?
Hello, Akalaka.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening. We are on a program talking about the insecurity in Nigeria. You have a question?
I know that we are on program. I don't have a question, but the security in Nigeria, all what we need is prayer and our leaders. they should be more effective and keep safety on life of the citizens.
Yes, yes, I agree with you. We need prayers. Yeah, we need prayer, and we are trusting God. We are believing God that He will help us. But more than that, God, you need to agree that God has really done so much for us in Africa and especially in Nigeria. God, we believe,
Yes.
and I am personally confident that God has really blessed us. Some other nations will be jealous of us for what God has done. He has blessed us with the best of human resources. He has blessed us with the best of natural resources. He has blessed us with talent, with a lot of things. But I think at this time, why we will continue to trust God. He can do all things. Prayer can change things. However, I personally believe that the fundamental problem of Nigeria is we the people. The people, it is from we the people that we have government. We are those evolving as our own leaders. Now, when I get to the place of power and you get to the place of power, when I get to the corridor of power, when I get to the place of opportunity to make changes, what do I do there? That is the challenge we are facing. We are asking for a brand new nation.
Nigeria, we don't always keep to promise in Nigeria. Before we get there, they'll make heaven and earth. After getting there, they forget all their promises.
Absolutely.
And Nigerians, again, they are food. They all what they depend on is what they have at hand. They don't normally think about the future.
Absolutely.
That's one thing about it.
So please, what's your name?
Adiola.
Adiola, I want to tell you that you just answered a question that was asked by the anchor of this program. Our leaders, they break promises. That's part of the problem in Nigeria right now. They cannot keep to promises. They keep to dual ideology of our constitution.
Hold on. We the citizen as well. We can't stand on our feet that this is what we want and this is what we don't want. Because of what we want at a particular time, we forget about what we need in future.
Miss Adiola, please, can I ask? Miss Adiola, can I come in and ask you a question right there?
Go ahead.
Yeah, have you registered for the referendum?
Yeah.
You've registered for the referendum? Yeah. Have you registered yourself?
Petition that is going on right now on Nina's website. Have you signed the petition?
No.
Okay. Now, one of the things that we're trying to encourage every Nigerian, regardless of the ethnic nationality from which you come or belong to, go ahead and sign that petition. The petition. Okay, we lost her anyway, but we want everybody to sign that petition. You can find it on Nina's website. Just go to https://ninas.org. Once again, the website is ninas.org. The full meaning of NINAS is Nigerian Indigenous Nationality Alliance for Self-Determination. We want everybody to go there, register your interest, and join the number. The number is a game of number. They always tell us, the Mietiala people, the northern Nigerians are repeating to us that politics is a game of number because they believe that the way through the British conspiracy, the way Nigeria has been demarcated to favor the people that bow to them, there is a lot of conspiracy against the federal republic called Nigeria. And so they believe that they've got a number. So we are challenging everybody. You are displeased about the situation. Don't just sit back. Don't just hold your peace. There's something you can do. Continue to speak out. Don't shy away from speaking. And then when you speak, don't just speak and make noise. Make sure you have the correct information. Know just exactly what is wrong with Nigeria. And then go ahead and register your vote. We have another Hello? We have another caller. Is
Hello,
it
this is Adiola.
this Adiola? Yeah, you're welcome back. So, before you go ahead, I was explaining the need for you to go and join the number. Politics is a game of number. Already, as a Yoruba lady or woman, you are one of the 60 million Yorubas. And then by signing that petition, you are saying that personally, you are tired about what is going on in Nigeria and you are calling for a change. That is what that means. So go to www.ninas.org.
Yeah, hello.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to bring in
www.ninas.org.
Ninas.
FFN.
Ninas. N-I.
Nina.
If you watch the program, it's going to come up again, so you can screenshot it.
N-I.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's it right on the screen. That's it right on the screen. That's it right on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Kai. Kai, this is part of the work you do as missionaries. What have you seen, on the street that, really encourages you in terms of communicating, the challenges, the problems and the challenges that people have, in a minute. What do you see on the streets? How do you communicate these things to the people?
I mean, generally, you talk to people who are living and breathing, specifically in Nigeria. I've read from Lagos to Abuja to Jos. People, this COVID thing that's happened in the world is a non-issue. People don't care about COVID. They're more concerned about their safety, their security, just being able to buy food and feed their families, getting through the day. So I think this is a relevant issue to raise this awareness now to help people, just the general population that are suffering and dying because of insecurity, because of corruption, because of the impunity that's happening within the government.
Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to, go into the commercial break. Don't go anywhere. Keep it right here. We're going to continue this.
Hi. Meet Dr. Noah Omoluabi, or Pastor Noah as you may prefer, depending on the business setting. He is ably qualified to talk about igniting the fire of leadership in young people for the purpose of creating their own legacy. He is the thought leader behind the concept of culture psychology for acquiring the office of the chief executive. No professor teaches anyone how to make friends. As your new hire walks out of the college gate into the corporate space, the innate forces are ignited for an ambitious career based on cultured leadership skills and a sound understanding of how to build profitable workplace networks. He may be engaged with chief executives, trying to convince them about necessary changes to be included in their leadership programs. He coaches senior executives, holds small group seminars and webinars, as well as facilitate large workshops. Noah is schooled in organizational management. His international exposure in many roles gave him the opportunity to live and observe the many theories of leadership development in businesses and to coach many young people, igniting their ambitions to hop along the career leadership pathway into
to bear God-pleasing fruits. And that's the point of the Holy Ghost baptism. Understanding the point of the Holy Ghost itself, is an endowment for
Grab Noah now to energize your Generation Z for impactful business career visions and Holy Ghost-inspired church growth.
Yeah, hello and welcome back, everybody. Program is continuing, it's getting hot. I can see, a lot of people showing a lot of interest. So we have an issue in our hands. The potential or the invitation for Ninas to come and address the invitation for Ninas to address the sorry about that. the invitation from Ninas to address the United Nations Congress in September, and the country is working towards that, and everybody is working towards that. But and issues, come up, and which is I'm going to start right from Dr. Olatunji right here. When people went to Sunday Igbohos' house, we had non-English speaking SWAT operatives. The attitude of the government at this point in time does not suggest that they recognize the fact that there is a force majeure that's been set in motion, which has a very, very challenging date tomorrow of August 15, when it ends, when the government is supposed to respond to that force majeure, but from my understanding. And if it doesn't respond by tomorrow, which suggests that Nigeria becomes a challengeable illegal entity from what people are saying from Monday. Now, that's tense. That's tense to think about. But my question really is this: with the people still in detention, the people that they went to capture, the cats and the kittens that they stole, and the government still clamping down on people, pretending as if nothing exists. Where does that race to, or what is the climate? What is suggesting towards the address of Professor Akintoye and his group in the United Nations?
Well, thank you so very much. Our guest, my co-guest in this program today, Brother Kai, already said the major problem in Nigeria is a problem of corruption and insecurity. And the perpetrators of those problems are our leaders. The government perpetuates this, fuel it. There is something they call remote cause. There is immediate cause. There is perpetuating cause. There is preponderant cause. Now, the government is all these causes. They are the remote causes. In Yoruba, cosmology, they said that the one that alerts the robbers to come and rob the house, they are the same that, sends the police. And for the president of a republic, a democratic republic, to say in a national television that we have ordered the military to be ruthless against civilians, that is an indirect declaration of war against its own people. That is indirect declaration of war. So the attitude of the government already is impunitive. The attitude of the government already shows disregard for the rule of law. It shows that you are talking of force majeure. That what was their attitude about force majeure? The attitude is attitude. Why you say don't give me attitude? They are giving attitude because they are reactionary. They are reacting to people request, people's demand for justice, people's demand for the rule of law, for orderliness, for security. If you go to Nigeria right now, the whole country almost is in the dark. There's no light, there's no electricity, there's no school, there's no nothing. Even the schools that are the private schools that are trying to, exist and survive and do the right thing, private schools that are trying to exist and survive, they are causing trouble. They are abducting students and children from those schools just to create chaos. I think the government of Nigeria have declared war, especially under the watch of Muhammadu Buhari, have declared war against the masses, against the public, against the people that they were chosen, elected to rule. And let me add this. We need to sound it loud and clear that the government of Nigeria, especially President Muhammadu, I feel anytime I want to call him, I prefer to refer to him as General Muhammadu Buhari.
That's what he wants to be.
Yeah, because he acts it out. The soldier in him, he wears Babariga, he wears the civilian attire on top of the military attitude. He is never divested from his military mind. we did not elect a military dictator. He needs to be reoriented. He needs to, and you know, he's been sued 2 times now. First in 2011 and currently in the International Criminal Court because of his, you know, purported crime against humanity. So right now what is going on in Nigeria is gross misrule, abuse of power, nepotism, despotic government. So the problem is that many of us are quiet about it. Now we have people who are trying to help us. My friend Kyle Apt and the rest of them, the international community, are trying to help us.
Which is
we are gathering in Dallas next week Thursday on the 19th by 6 p.m. in Mercury 1, Irving, Texas. And we are now asking all our friends, all Nigerians in the Metroplex, in Garland, in Richardson, Dallas, Irving, DeSoto, Fort Worth, Abilene, from all over the Metroplex. Don't sit back while people come from Virginia, come from Washington, D.C., comes from New Jersey, comes from all over to come and talk about our country. Don't sit back at home. Don't watch us at home. Come out to Mercury 1 in Irving. Come and be a part of the solution. Don't let's just talk about this thing. We need you at this time. Nigeria needs you at this time. The dying people needs you. The adopted children needs you. Our churches, our pastors, our imams, our Muslim friends, all people of Nigeria need you. So my boiling point right now is the people must speak up that we are tired of this misrule, of this abuse of power. We elected a democratic leader, not a military despot. And we must cry out loud until the rest of the world hear us and we put an end to this misrule. Thank you.
Yeah, I was just going to, segue into asking Kyle, about, what he's doing, what they are doing right now about creating awareness. You had the lady, you had a question, and it shows that she's a bit ignorant of, what she should do. What should be her role, what she should be doing right now. Yes, we are all fed up, but then what? Kai, what do you think as a missionary, as people working in the field? How do you, what do you? Just say something about this, because I don't know where to start.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, there's people are scattered. This is the problem of Nigeria. It's multifaceted. There's the problem. It was always the Northeast, right? So Boko Haram, ISWAP, that was the big problem. And then it became a middle belt with the Fulani militants attacking and occupying land. Then they continued to go south to the Igbos, to Yoruba, to southwest. So now it's a all Nigeria problem. Kidnappers, banditry. They keep making up these words and these things. Everyone knows it. Everyone in Nigeria knows who it is. It's Fulani militants that are causing these problems. They're working with in the Northeast with Boko Haram and ISWAP. We've talked to people who have been kidnapped for months, years, and they come out and they say, the people that are supplying the bullets, the food, who is it? It's the Fulani militants are coming in. They're allowed free passage throughout the country. So you're talking about a group of people. Again, the trouble is, the complication is there are Fulani Christians, there are Fulanis that have a sense of what is right and what is wrong, and they don't want to be killed by either Fulani Muslims or by Christians who think they are guilty. Take for instance today what happened in Plateau State. They were burying 6 people, Christian farmers, and then they were just so erupted that they decided to take the law into their own hands and started killing a group which they thought were Fulani Muslims, but it turned out they weren't. This is all caused by the presidency and his ministers and his security forces. So you've got to be able to speak up, have a forum to speak up. If they can't do it in Nigeria through Twitter, through media bans and other things like that, then we have to be their voice.
Okay, but you don't think, like we were talking about the referendum, people need to do something, go to their churches, go to their mosques and ask questions of their leaders. There should be a way to hold somebody accountable. At least.
Right, but how do they do that? That is a good question. I mean, so in Nigeria, can you do that? Can you hold? So can a pastor tell people to sign a referendum? Sure, but will he be labeled or targeted as a lawbreaker? You know, and that's what we're getting to in Nigeria.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, right after the break, we're going to move into greater other aspects of this discussion. So
this cultural center is definitely a bridge that is going to allow everyone, because I don't want to say both cultures, because we are one. Yeah. We just have been separated through time and space, but now we are bringing back ourselves. We are being called. It's like the return, you know. This is the return, the reckoning, you know. So African Americans and Africans together, coming together on this Yoruba Center platform is what we need at this time. And this organization offers 9 solid programs. We offer the language school, we offer the Arts and Heritage Museum, we offer the theater, talking drum and dance program, we offer the youth scholarship that provides scholarship to college students who are leaving high school, who have gained admission. We have the community program for families. We have the health and wellness program. All of these programs, we have the youth program. I don't want to forget that, because the youth are the future. You and I, we are the youth. So if there's anyone out there who falls in the demographic of young parents who have young children like we do, we need you to come join us. Africans and African Americans alike. Let us build a strong youth movement that has its foundation on something that we can actually, count on, which is our culture and our heritage. So we invite you to come to the Yoruba Cultural Center. Of course, book a tour to come to the museum.
Yeah, thank you everybody for being part of this program. We're still on and we're going to be firing on as usual. In this section, we are talking about the minority groups, which they form a significant issue. Just like the politicians, to me, they look like they are confused. A lot of them don't know what to do. Minority groups, by my definition, are small groups, and these small groups, they are not in one area. They are, small groups dotted all over the country. Even in the Yoruba nation, you have the Edo people, for instance, who are small there, and even among them, they are their own smaller groups. These groups are showing a lot of distrust of the big three. The map you're looking at is Nina's map, or projection of Nigeria's map and the way things will go. In fact, some of the groups, like the from Akwa Ibom, I was surprised they were identifying to be middle belters. They identify with the middle belt. And I'm like, how do you come from that end towards Cameroon and be in the middle belt, right? So these are issues on ground, but definitely there are areas of distrust and people are not entirely too sure where this is going. And I'm suspecting they may turn out to, their confusion may sabotage the overall interest of everybody else trying to get out of the entity called Nigeria. So, Dr. Olatunji, what insight do you have for us on this matter?
Well, people have right to identify themselves with any people, any group. We have right of association. That's part of democracy and fundamental human right. I have the right to choose my association. I have a right to choose my union, and that's part of what some people are saying, why they are calling for secession or for independent nationality, because they believe that the union called Nigeria is no more working. So, and they are calling for right to go with their own union, right to form a union of their own or remain with their own indigenous nationality. So that's my opinion about that. And I think people have right.
Thank you, sir. Kyle, I'm going to ask you as well. We have obviously a dictator in Buhari. He's I mean, the Senate tried to, find a pacifying or idea that we are doing constitutional review commission or committee, and then trying to, do it, maybe find a way to pacify the the groups that are agitating for restructuring and all of that. He quashed it. Okay, there was another suggestion from the lawmakers, another attempt from the lawmakers to bring people to the table. He also quashed that. No, don't think about it. Don't even go there at all. I don't want to hear anything about restructuring or anything that breaks anything. I stand by what we did with the Biafran War. Now, with your own campaign and awareness, trying to help Nigerians, trying to find congressmen, for instance, getting involved in the situation of Nigeria. What can they do? What will these congressmen do? How will they help us? How can they help us in this situation?
Yeah, that's the big ask, right? What can they do to help? And that's, it's not just the U.S., it's UK and international. If you start talking of separatism and splitting apart and different things like that, breaking up, it's not going to go well, because they've been fed for the past, since Buhari took office in 2015. He's been feeding them, okay, just give me time. Even before he became president, Buhari was courting the Americans, courting the English. He just got back from London. Who knows who he's talking to when he's there? Is it just medical checkups? Who else is he talking to? He's lying to them about he's got it under control, that this, and this. So if we lead with the we need to be separate, people are going to shut us down right away. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's not an important issue, but we've got to be very savvy with it, to be able to make sure we get that to the right ears. So how do we lead that into them? We always talk about this. What opens the door? That's the human rights and the religious persecution, religious freedom issues. Once that's done, once you start to get people aware this is what's happening. There's a genocide in Nigeria. There's obviously the jihad from the Boko Haram and ISWAP. Obviously, the human rights and the religious freedom will open the door. But once you're in, now they say, what do you want? Okay, great. I want this group. I want this leader. I want these people. Now you have a table to sit at, and you have a time to speak and share. So it's not an easy thing, but it's going to take time. But we've got to be careful of how we lead with the breakup, because if we lead with the breakup, people are going to, Buhari's been telling people, IPOB is a terrorist group. Namadi Kanu is a terrorist. Sunday, he's going to be labeled as a terrorist soon enough. So we've got to be, we've got to be careful with that.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Okay. Dr. Latunji, I still have this question of these small groups. Yeah. Can they really negotiate their own geographical entity out of the system?
Well, somehow I go with, I'll start from where Kyle stopped from. The government is not even seeing the right of anybody to do anything anymore in Nigeria. Yeah, if you try to push your right, you are labeled, just like Sunday Igbohos has been labeled like a terrorist. They're accusing him as a terrorist. The 12 that were abducted from his house were charged to court. They have not committed any offense, and yet look at the stringent measures of bail that has been imposed upon them, even though they have not really committed any crime. That's because the government of Nigeria demonizes anyone claiming any right. So, but does that mean these groups don't have right? Certainly not. That's not what we are saying. However, we must, become very, very tactic and resolved. Whatever we want to do, Nigeria must begin to speak with one voice. Until we all do so, until we act as such, the whole world is not going to, we are talking sometimes as if United Nations will just come down to Nigeria and solve our problem. That's not so fast, because we are a sovereign nation and a democracy. It's not easy because right now, I brought this up, you remember, during this one of our past episodes that up till now, not a single motion for impeachment has been passed against President Muhammadu Buhari. But now we Nigerians are crying. We are the one that elected representatives to the Federal House of Representatives to represent us and our interest. We elected senators to represent us and our jurisdiction. No, they are there, but are they representing us? Nobody is talking. Nobody is acting to, present the feeling of the masses. They are there in the federal council. They are there in the House of Representatives. They are there in the Senate, and yet there is, up to this moment as we speak, no single motion for impeachment exists in any of the house, whether lower or the upper house. No single motion exists. So that is part of why all the groups, minority or majority, all the groups have been somehow practically incapacitated right now. We are speaking though, the people are speaking though, but with democracy, there are processes and there are ways in which things should be done, but our politicians are not helping matters. So the people who empower them have been weakened by the politicians. They are using their political power as weapons of oppression to the people that brought them to power.
Yeah, thank you. What you just said reminded me that we had a slide up earlier that says call your legislators. It's like, do Nigerians even know that you can call your legislator? And when they call, what do they say? What should they say? I saw a video during the week about a guy going to a wedding. You are going to a church wedding, you cannot be late. At least that standard is still there. So they got into a flood, and he was like, we can't be late. He wanted to walk. He got out, but he needed to get his bride out also. The moment he pulled the bride out, and carried the bride through the flood, all the white of the of the dressing gown of the lady now got stuck. All of them was washing in the mud, and it was going on. So when we talk about calling your legislators, I think we should know, what to ask them. Because if you don't ask them questions, you don't make them uncomfortable. You need to find out their numbers. Their numbers are actually available. Thank you, Mr. Adebayo from Dubai. Yeah, their numbers are available. Find out or go to their offices. They have local offices in your areas. You need to make your, because nobody is asking questions also makes it a bit challenging. That's what I say. We've been talking about gatekeepers of democracy. Engineers witnessed that. The video was viral. People saw it. What are the engineers doing? Malami's locked up all those people for. Is it so difficult to get a bail for somebody who's not even? They didn't kill nobody, and no doctors, no engineers, no lawyers, nobody saying anything. Nobody trying to recall Malami, to come and answer disciplinary questions and stuff like that. But my point is, when we say call your legislator or call somebody, what should they be saying? Any help?
Well, we can begin to put words in people's mind, but they should just express themselves. One of the fundamental human rights is your ability to express yourself. If you are hurting, say it, speak out. There is something that have really helped America so much, and that's the culture of see something, say something. That culture has really helped the West because they don't keep quiet. They express their right. You see, some civilians, they hold some law enforcement, they hold them and they question them, they challenge them. Nobody can harass them because they have their right. Now, but our people are afraid to the extent that they gave up their right. Even before they are being denied. Nigerians already give up their rights because of fear. because of fear. And Martin Luther King Jr., one of the things that he said is that those who are afraid, they are already dead, that you are already not alive because you are afraid of dying. And Julius Caesar was, the word that Shakespeare puts in the mouth of Julius Caesar is the coward. They die many times before they are dead, but the valiant will die but once. So if you are afraid, and because you are afraid to die, you're already dead, because your children are dead, your posterity is dead, your future, our children's children, the yet unborn, we have mortgaged the future already for not being able to come out and express ourselves. We continue to perpetuate our own burden. And of course, if you bottle up, you will die eventually, because if you don't die of heart attack, you will die of worries. So it's better you speak up and liberate yourself as a free-born Nigerian. We've not got slaves in Nigeria.
Well,
are all free-born.
And that's where my next line of questioning for Kyle is going to go. Are we really free-born? Because it looks to me from what I see.
Yeah, we are free-born.
Well, from what I see, that we all tend to depend on government so much, and we all get scared. I mean, when I was young, I know people used to wait for the budget. My parents would wait. Oh yeah, the president's going to read the budget, and and it seems that's just a psychology. Or am I right? Is that what you see on the field?
Yeah, I know. We're not talking theologically yet, so we're good. But I agree. I mean, the trouble is I think, you look at Nigeria. I mean, I remember hearing this so many times. What can the government do? We got to call the government. There's a water leak over here. Can we get the government to come fix it? Oh, our electricity's down. Can the government come and fix it? Well, there's only so much the government can do, or want to do, or willing to do. So that's where there's, the community needs to be to rise up. And you talk about taking action. You talk about contacting Congress and Senate in Nigeria. We invite them. I remember going to church programs where we invited the governor, and he's coming. Why'd they invite him? Well, because he's coming with a big envelope or a big gift. We keep wanting these things, but we're not asking them to do anything. Invite them to come to your church, but then turn the tables and say, these are our complaints. This is what we need you to address us right now. Don't accept his envelope. Accept his presence as a way to get him to react.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Well, I'm just going to encourage everybody once again, because this is, to me, very important. If you have not registered for the referendum, you've not filled the form for the referendum, please go and do that. Get your people to do, to put in their names and signatures as well. The more of us, the easier for the people going to make the case at the UN, and the people helping us, in various congresses. Let me use them, congresses or assemblies all over the world. It makes them to make their case much more, heavily. The more of us that are there. Also, for those of us in Dallas, we expect you to come out en masse, come and support, the work that is going on. Lend your voice, because if you don't lend your voice, people don't know that you are suffering. Lend your voice to what is going on. Come in there, come and ask questions, and it will be live. It will be shared live, so you can go. You can watch it online wherever you are in the world. You can watch the program online. Come and contribute. Let the world know that something, is going on, that Nigerians need help. Nigerians need help. This is an opportunity for us to all get on the table, get involved one way or the other. Well, until next week, this is where I'm going to sort of begin to draw the curtain. I'm going to thank Kyle Abs, who's spent this long hour with us, trying to help us wade through these challenges that we have, and how to solve the problems, facing us with the harassment from Yetiala, essentially, why we struggle for freedom from Yetiala. You want to say something, sir? Before I move on? we are thanking you. We are grateful for your participation.
No, appreciate it. Thank you very much for the time. And I know I'm just coming alongside what you guys have already started and are doing. And again, I think both parties coming together helping this is what's gonna raise awareness and bring change. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. And then my colleague right here, I just drag him anytime, and he's always willing. He's always willing. Well,